Stop embarrassing yourself by using these microphones. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin. In this video, I'm gonna be talking to you about audio. I'm here to ask you to please stop using these mics, at least when they're set up like this. Nothing pains me more than surfing through the web and seeing what's very obviously a high quality production video. Like, you can tell the lighting's on point, the camera work, the editing, right? But then you have these things on the client's shirt, and the guy will be wearing like a suit and tie, and he has one of these things sticking onto his jacket. Like, why? Why are you doing that? You're leaving so much potential on the table. When you're using a wireless system, at least like this, when it's clipped onto a shirt, I don't think they sound that good. And when I see someone have their microphones clipped or magnetized to their client's shirt like this, all I can see and think is how much potential they're leaving on the table. You can make these sound so much better by using a lavalier microphone. And listen, I know I'm hating on these. I get it. Super convenient. They're Bluetooth. DJI makes a really good product. You take them out the case, it immediately works. I get it. It's very convenient. But when you use them in this fashion, you're leaving so much room for improvement on your audio. What I have here is a lav microphone, specifically the Rode Lav. And just with this, you can make these sound so much better. For one, you can put the lav mic and you can hide it under your talent's shirt or coat or whatever. You can place this microphone anywhere and make it inconspicuous so that way it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb in your video. And you can do this for either system. For the Rode Wireless and the DJI mics, you can go ahead and plug in a lav mic and immediately better your audio and make these things go away. I think that's my biggest, I'm not even mad when I see these. I'm just disappointed. If you'd done a little bit more digging, you could have seen that a lav mic would be the superior option because you get to hide it, you get a superior sound, and most of all, you just don't have to do this look anymore. And if you're just starting out and you're just making videos for fun, or like you're on TikTok or something, do you, whatever. This is more aimed at people that are doing professional work, that want to just up their production value. Stop using these, and please get a lav mic. It'll make your appearance much more professional. You won't have a huge brick on your talent, and also you just get a better sound. That's literally it. I understand the appeal of a Wi-Fi wireless transmission system. They're usually really cheap. They're easy to use. You can just put them out of the case. They link to each other. You just plug it onto your camera, instant. And they make it just seamless to start creating. But if you take just a little bit more time, plug in the lav mic, wire it up onto your talent, onto yourself, you can make your videos stand out and sound better than the competition. And also, you won't have this brick thing on your shirt. You might also think that just having these microphones is good enough. Well, I've seen and experienced countless times where you start to get to a high channel count, meaning that there's multiple microphones on set. So you have 4 people mic'd up with these on their shirt, and all of a sudden, you can't hear the audio, or you just have dropouts, or you have weird sounds coming in. What's going on? Well, these operate on Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is everywhere. Right now, I'm in my apartment, and there's a lot of people that have Wi-Fi in their home. Not only that, if you're at a corporate setting, imagine how many Wi-Fi routers they have there besides people's phones, AirPods, Apple Watches, etc. These things on my shirt are competing on the same frequency bands for the signal. So when you're in a situation like that, these will absolutely just fail you, and then now you have no audio. Obviously, that's why a boom mic is better, because it's actually wired in to your recorder device. But what if I told you that you could still have your audio be wireless, high quality, and dependable? Let me introduce you to a UHF wireless audio system. This specifically is a Sennheiser G4 series. The Sennheiser G4 kit consists of a transmitter and a receiver and some batteries just to power the devices. Unlike the DJI and the Rode, this has no microphone on it right now. There's nothing else besides the antenna and the batteries on this device, and this device on itself is not capable of recording audio. That's where a lav mic comes in. Now that we've plugged in the lav mic, our Sennheiser G4 transmitter is capable of hearing the audio and transmitting it. But it's doing the same thing as the DJI or Rode system, right? Wrong. What makes this differently is that it operates on a completely different spectrum of radio frequency than Wi-Fi. That's where the Rode and the DJI hang out at, is 2.4 gigahertz, versus this hangs out at UHF frequency bands between 470 to 558 megahertz. You might be thinking to yourself, well, big deal. We've now moved our problem from 2.4 gigahertz, which is Wi-Fi, over to around 470 megahertz to around 600 megahertz. Won't the UHF system just suffer the same problems as the Wi-Fi based transmission systems? No, because these are actually tunable, meaning that you can select the frequency at which they operate at. The Sennheiser G4 system actually has an auto scan feature that you can go ahead and enable, and then it'll scan through all the available frequencies and check which one has the least amount of interference. This makes it so that you can go ahead and get on site and select the cleanest spectrum. Now, admittedly, there is no fancy graph or display on this. It'll just tell you the number and you can't really see what else is going on. That's where this device comes in. This is a spectrum analyzer. This can basically tune to any frequency that I tell it to and tell me what's going on in that frequency range. So when I go ahead and turn this on, this is going to show me what's going on my radio spectrum. Now, what I have here are 3 peaks. I don't know what they are specifically, but I know that they're there. And most of all, they are consistent as my device sweeps through the spectrum. So now I know to avoid these 3 big peaks in the frequency range. So I can actually go ahead and toggle between it. It looks like the leftmost one is around 504 megahertz. The second biggest peak is around 512 megahertz. And the third biggest peak is around 556 megahertz. Now, this is super useful because it lets me know I can go into my transmitter and select frequencies that don't have any peaks at all. So now what I have done is that I have turned on the Sennheiser G4 unit. And then when I turn the radio frequency mute off and start transmitting a signal, it instantly pops up there at the very edge of the screen. And it's the strongest signal because, well, the antenna is right close to it. But you can still see that we are operating right there in clean spectrum. There's nothing else really going on. Versus if I didn't have the ability to see this, I would be maybe fighting for the spectrum somewhere over here and not knowing it. The Sennheiser G4 auto scan feature is pretty good, but this just saves so much time. Like you can immediately visually see where you can place your transmitters on the spectrum. If I need a second one, I can go ahead and look, well, over here there's a big gap that's open, somewhere around 525 megahertz. So much faster, so much more dependable, and so much more flexible than the DJI wireless system. Okay, that's the UHF part of the spectrum. Now let me tune into Wi-Fi. Okay, so now what I have going on is that you can't really see what's happening. There's a lot of spikes, but nothing's really sticking out. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on a mode on the tiny spectrum analyzer that's going to mark the peaks, or basically it's just gonna hold where the highest points of radio frequency have been. So now I've turned on max hold and it's going to map out where the strongest parts of radio frequency have been at. So you can see it starts to kind of form a shape. That's just where the consistent signal peaks at. So as you can see, we've started to have a big peak right here, followed up by a smaller one to the left of it. That could be my Wi-Fi router. It could be something else. But right here, we can see that there is some available space over here, but on a Wi-Fi system, there is no tunability. You can't do like you can on the Sennheiser and tune it to a specific frequency. It's up to the device itself to bounce around on the spectrum and find the best cleanest signal. This is just in my apartment. Imagine if you were somewhere downtown where you live, how many more sources of radio frequency would there be? Would there even be any available spectrum? That's not something you want to deal with. So I have the DJI and the Rode system off. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them back on now. So here comes the Rode coming back online. And you can see we got a big spike somewhere over there. I'm guessing that's our Rode system because that spike wasn't there before I turned this on. Now I'm gonna leave this on. So now what I've done is that I scooted over the frequencies a little bit just because there wasn't much going on this side. But you can see there's a big wall just there, followed up by the previous big peak we had. And I know that that little spike over there is our Rode Wireless system. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna reactivate the DJI system and see where it falls. All right, the DJI system is out of the case. It's transmitting. I can see it give signal over there. And it fell somewhere right here. And you can see there's big spikes coming up right over there. That right there is our DJI system. There's not much space. I think if we had one more set of DJI mics, this would be absolutely just filled to the brim. There would be nothing left for something else to be placed there. And that's where things like dropouts start to happen. So now that I've kind of shown you what the spectrum looks like and what scanning for a frequency can be like on the tiny spectrum analyzer, it's so easy. Like, if you're gonna use a wireless system, please use the UHF system. If you're just starting out and you're just using a Wi-Fi system, I get it, it works, but don't trust it on a professional shoot. Obviously, above wireless systems, there is being actually cabled to a recorder through a boom mic. That will be the ultimate way of recording audio for your videos. But not everyone can do that, so I understand why these wireless systems are popular. But still, there are better wireless systems, and it's not Wi-Fi based systems. Please get a UHF system. If you're a working professional, investing into the systems will be so worth it. They have features that can help your workflow be faster, less stressful, and most of all, they are just super configurable. For example, you can tune the frequencies. That way you can have the cleanest radio signal on set. You can also then replace the batteries. Have you ever thought about that? What would you do if your DJI mics lost power because the battery's dead? You have to wait for them to charge. Now, they do advertise a very long battery life, but what if you forget to charge them? Or what if you forget to pack them up the night before and they were laying out and they didn't turn off for a while? That would suck. With a UHF system, you can usually go ahead and take the transmitter and the receiver and swap out the batteries in those, no problem. My recommendation for UHF systems belong to Sennheiser and Shure. Both have years of experience with wireless technology and are super dependable. I would highly discourage you from buying the deity Theo system. It is a single dual channel receiver with 2 transmitters for about $1,000. And you might be thinking, well, that's a great deal. But through what I've read and heard from other people that have had the system, it's not built well, it doesn't perform, and it just kind of dies on people on occasion. These are stories that I've heard, and maybe if your Theo system is flawless, good for you. But for the majority of you, I really believe in buying quality equipment once. If your DJI Theo system works flawlessly for you, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. But for the majority of you that have not invested into a UHF system, please stay away from the DJI Wireless. It is not dependable as the Sennheiser and the Shure systems. I know that the price is a lot bigger when you think about it. For 2 channels from Shure or Sennheiser with their latest technology, you're looking at about $1,600 to about $1,800 depending on where you get your kit from and what microphone you pair with it. Versus the DJI Theos is priced at a really compelling price of about almost $1,000, but you really do get what you pay for, and I have not heard very many good things about the Theos. I would highly encourage you to stay away from DJI Theos. They have really great products, but I don't think their wireless is one of them. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this was useful to you, and hopefully it was informative rather than a rant. I mean, it is a rant. I'm really tired of seeing people have those magnet transmitters on their shirt. Like, I'm over it. Just go ahead and get a lav mic and upgrade your Wi-Fi based transmitter until you can get a UHF system. That will really improve the quality and the dependability of your kit. Also, something that I didn't really touch on, but it's super important to me, is just longevity. Like, if I buy something nice, I really do expect it to last a decently nice time. With these systems, they operate on an internal battery, meaning that you can't switch it out. Like, you can't put a AAA or AA into the DJI mics or into the Rode Wireless system. Not only is that super wasteful, because most people, when the battery dies, will throw it away rather than looking into fix it. I feel like that's the minority of people that want to fix their system. Most people will just be like, oh, my $100 transmitter died, time to get a new one. That is so wasteful. These UHF systems, especially the Sennheiser G3, G4 series, have been in use for years because they recirculate into the used market. And then the fact that you can change out the batteries and you can do a SMA antenna mod, meaning that you can make the antenna removable, really expands the lifespan of these devices. So a replaceable battery, as small as it may seem, is super, super important. These devices don't have that either. And while they do advertise really high battery times, think of it like this. You've probably gotten a brand new phone, right? You remember how long your battery would last, maybe 3 or 2 days. And then you start thinking to yourself, why is my battery dying so fast all of a sudden a couple years later? Well, that's just what happens to batteries. They eventually degrade and they don't have the same performance as when you got them brand new. The same thought process can be applied to these wireless transmitters. When they're brand new, they're nice and they last all day, but you don't want to place a bet on when your wireless transmitter that you're using for work will die on you mid-shoot and you have no replacement or way of troubleshooting what's wrong with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video was a culmination of a lot of things that I'm passionate about. I'm really passionate about people really getting what they pay for. You know, if you buy a high quality thing, you should get a high quality thing. But also, with all the hype that's around these wireless products, I feel like a new one comes out almost every month. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video useful, consider leaving a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel. My name's Justin, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.